For centuries, or maybe even more, tales of mythological creatures and legendary beasts have captured our minds. Some are described as awe-inspiring and otherworldly, while others exist purely to terrify. Dark entities born to wreak havoc spread fear and torment those who cross their path. These creatures aren't just stories. They tap into something deeper, primal fears, ancient warnings, and the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they still walk among us. From the depths of the ocean to the darkest corners of the earth, legends persist. Could these terrifying beings have survived in the shadows, slipping through history unnoticed? Well, let's uncover 15 of the most chilling legendary creatures that might still be out there, lurking in the darkness. Number 15, Hydra. The Hydra is one of the most feared creatures in Greek mythology, a monstrous, multi-headed serpent lurking in the dark waters of Lake Lerna. Its number of heads varies across different myths, but one thing remains the same. It was nearly impossible to kill. With blood and breath said to be pure poison, it could wipe out anything in its path. The most terrifying part? Its regenerative ability. For every head severed, 2 more would grow in its place, making it an unstoppable force of destruction. The Hydra became infamous during Hercules' second labor, where the hero was tasked with slaying the beast. With his unmatched courage, he fought relentlessly, eventually burning each stump to prevent new heads from forming. He buried the immortal final head under a massive rock, but some believe it still lurks beneath, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Could the Hydra's legend be more than just a myth? Well, only Hercules knows. Number 14, Draugr. Straight out of Norse mythology, the Draugr is the Viking equivalent of a zombie, but far more terrifying. Unlike modern undead, these creatures don't just mindlessly shuffle. They retain intelligence, grow in size at will, and possess immense, supernatural strength. Their rotting flesh stinks of decay, and their skin, often black or blue, serves as a chilling reminder of their cursed existence. Legends tell of these undead warriors rising from their graves to haunt the living, driven by revenge, greed, or sheer malice. But their powers extended beyond brute force. Draugr could shapeshift, curse victims, control the weather, and even foresee the future. Worse still, their bite was contagious. Those slain by a Draugr risked becoming one themselves. The only way to stop them? A proper Viking burial or complete destruction of their corpse. But if the Draugr still exist, they may be lurking in ancient tombs, waiting to walk the earth once more. Number 13, Alp. From the depths of German folklore, the Alp is a vampiric spirit capable of shape-shifting into animals like cats, dogs, snakes, and even butterflies. But what makes it truly terrifying is its ability to invade dreams, turning peaceful sleep into a waking nightmare. Known to torment men, women, and children alike, it was blamed for sleep paralysis, night terrors, and even unexplained deaths in the night. Unlike other monsters that physically roam the earth, the Alp exists almost entirely within dreams, making it nearly impossible to kill. Victims reported a heavy, suffocating pressure on their chest, as if the creature was feeding on their life force. Some even claimed the Alp would steal their breath, draining their soul with each exhale. The only way to ward it off? Placing a mirror on the chest before sleep, for when the Alp sees its own reflection, it vanishes into the night. Number 12, Fairies. Forget the tiny winged beings from fairy tales. In older folklore, fairies were supernatural entities capable of both great wonder and immense cruelty. Their origins trace back to medieval French and Celtic legends, where they were known as mischievous spirits, shapeshifters, and even gods in disguise. They weren't just playful creatures. Many stole kids, led travelers astray, or cursed those who wronged them. Interestingly, early depictions of fairies didn't include wings. They flew using magic or hitched a ride on birds. Some were stunningly beautiful, while others were grotesque, appearing as shadowy, wispy figures or eerie, glowing lights in the woods. They lived in hidden realms, slipping into our world only when the veil between dimensions grew thin. While some were helpful, offering luck and fortune, others were deadly beyond belief. If you ever see a strange light in the forest, tread carefully. You may not be alone. Number 11. Ogre. While modern audiences may picture Shrek, traditional ogres were anything but friendly. Found in myths worldwide, these massive, brutish creatures were known for their insatiable hunger for human flesh. The term itself comes from French folklore, but ogres predate written history, with early versions appearing in Etruscan mythology, where they were linked to the man-eating god Orcus. Towering over humans, covered in hair, and possessing terrifying strength, ogres were feared for their dim-witted yet violent nature. Some legends describe them as mindless beasts, while others suggest they were cunning hunters, stalking prey under the cover of darkness. Unlike many supernatural beings, ogres weren't bound by magic. They were simply stronger, faster, and far more ruthless than any human could ever be. Some believe the myth of ogres may have been inspired by real-life encounters with early hominids, and it could be true. Number 10. Joragumo. In Japanese mythology, the Joragumo is a terrifying shapeshifter, a deadly fusion of humans and arachnids. At first glance, she appears as a stunningly beautiful woman, graceful, elegant, and impossible to resist. But beneath this alluring disguise lies a monstrous predator. According to legend, when a Joragumo spider, an ordinary species found in Japan, reaches 400 years of age, it gains the ability to transform and develops an insatiable hunger for human flesh. Her methods are as chilling as they are cunning. With her supernatural charm, she lures unsuspecting men into her lair, weaving a seductive trap with lies as strong as the silk threads she spins. These threads, said to be unbreakable, ensnare her victims, rendering escape impossible. And once caught, the horror begins. The Joragumo injects her venom, paralyzing her prey and slowly draining the life from them, savoring their agony until the very last breath. Number 9. Penangalan. Of all the vampiric horrors in Southeast Asian folklore, few are as grotesque as this. Known by different names across the region, this beast takes a disturbing form in Malay mythology. One legend tells of a woman who sought eternal youth and beauty, agreeing to a strict vegetarian diet for 40 days to achieve it. But temptation proved stronger than her will, and she broke her oath. The punishment? A gruesome transformation into a Penangalan, cursed to an existence of terror and bloodlust. By day, she appears human, blending in unnoticed. But as night falls, her head rips free from her body, entrails dangling and glistening as she takes flight in search of prey. She feeds on the blood of pregnant women and newborns, leaving behind disease and death. To return to human form, she must soak her organs in vinegar before reattaching to her body. A sharp nose may detect her. The unmistakable stench of vinegar betrays her monstrous secret. Number 8. Lamashtu. Among the most feared demons of Mesopotamian mythology, Lamashtu is a nightmare-given form, an ancient terror responsible for disease, death, and unspeakable horrors. This grotesque being is often depicted as a monstrous hybrid, a hairy, pregnant demon with 3 piercing eyes, a jackal's head, though some myths claim she had the face of a lioness, snake, or hawk, massive wings, a serpent's tail, and taloned feet. A truly terrifying sight. But her appearance was only the beginning of her wickedness. Lamashtu was feared most for her cruelty toward pregnant women and infants. She was said to force miscarriages, snatch newborns from their mother's arms, and feed them her own poisonous milk before crunching on their tiny bones. She spread disease, polluted rivers and brought nightmares to those unfortunate enough to cross her path. Her reign of terror was so great that even demons feared her, and protective amulets were crafted to ward off her wrath. She was the mother of monsters. Number 7. Nuckelavee. Scotland, a land of breathtaking landscapes and ancient castles, is also home to one of the most nightmarish creatures in mythology, the Nuckelavee. Often called the devil of the sea, this monstrous being is a skinless, horse-like abomination with a grotesquely oversized human head and veins coursing with black blood. Its breath is said to wither crops, sicken livestock, and spread disease, bringing devastation wherever it roams. Unlike most land-based terrors, the Nuckelavee is a creature of both land and sea, emerging from the depths to bring ruin. The only force capable of controlling it is the ancient spirit sea Mither, which temporarily restrains its evil during summer. Sightings of this beast were recorded as early as the 16th century, particularly on Orkney's Stransay Island, where terrified fishermen reported its towering form lurking in the mist. To this day, locals claim the Nuckelavee's wrath lingers, awaiting its next victim. Number 6. Chimera. Greek mythology is filled with terrifying creatures, but few compare to the chimera, a monstrous hybrid said to be the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, two of the deadliest beings in ancient lore. This beast possessed the head and body of a lion, a goat's head protruding from its back, and a serpent's head for a tail, making it a formidable force of destruction. Legends claim the chimera breathed fire, capable of reducing entire villages to ash. Its reign of terror came to an end when the hero Bellerophon, riding the winged horse Pegasus, was sent to slay it. With strategic precision, he rained down arrows before thrusting a spear into its throat, choking the beast on molten lead. However, some believe the chimera's legend never truly died. Its spirit endures, hidden in the untamed wilds, waiting to ignite fear once again. Number 5. Tokoloshe. In South African folklore, few beings inspire as much fear as the Tokoloshe. Described as a small, gremlin-like entity, it is believed to be summoned by witches and shamans to torment their enemies. The Tokoloshe thrives on chaos and fear, known for creeping into homes at night to harass and even strangle sleeping victims. This creature is said to be invisible to most, sustained by sucking on stones to prolong its existence. Some legends claim it can only be controlled by cutting a hair from its eye or by offering it curdled milk. To ward off an attack, people place bricks under the legs of their beds or scatter special salt around doorways. Though modern skeptics dismiss the Tokoloshe as mere legend, countless rural communities still take precautions, unwilling to risk the wrath of a creature that refuses to fade into myth. Number 4. Banshee. One of the most feared spirits in Irish folklore, the Banshee is an eerie, wailing entity that foretells death. Depending on the legend, she appears as either a stunning young woman or an ancient, ghostly crone, draped in a gray cloak with long white hair and eyes swollen red from endless tears. Her piercing scream is said to shatter the mind, a bone-chilling wail heard in the dead of night that signifies impending doom for those who hear it. In some versions of the myth, the Banshee is not a malicious being, but a mourning spirit attached to specific families, grieving for the souls about to depart. However, others believe she is a force of pure terror, luring her victims into the afterlife. Whether a tragic figure or a harbinger of death, the Banshee's legend remains one of the most haunting in Celtic mythology. Number 3. Baize. Unlike most mythical creatures, the Baize is not a monster of terror, but a symbol of wisdom and fortune. Described as a white, ox-like creature with 6 horns and 9 eyes, it is a supernatural being revered in Chinese folklore. According to legend, the Baize possesses deep knowledge of all things mystical, including an understanding of 1,000 demons and spirits. The most famous tale tells of the Bai Zi's encounter with the Yellow Emperor, Huang Di, to whom it revealed the secrets of warding off evil. This knowledge was later compiled into texts used by ancient Chinese mystics. Despite its unsettling appearance, seeing a Bai Zi is considered a great omen, signifying a wise and just ruler. Some believe that the Bai Zi still appears in times of great need, offering guidance to those pure of heart. Number 2. Skinwalkers. Deep in Navajo folklore, the skinwalker is one of the most feared beings, a shaman who abandoned the path of healing to embrace dark magic. These sinister beings possess the ability to shapeshift into animals or humans, using their powers to deceive, curse, and destroy. The Navajo name for them, Yi Naldlushi, translates to, by means of it, it goes on all fours, hinting at their terrifying transformations. Unlike typical werewolves or spirits, skinwalkers retain intelligence and human cunning, making them nearly impossible to track or kill. Many stories describe them mimicking voices, leading victims into the wilderness, only to strike when least expected. Sightings of tall, thin creatures with glowing eyes lurking in the shadows persist to this day. Even speaking of them is believed to draw their attention, so many Navajo people refuse to utter their names. Number 1. Amit. Feared and revered in equal measure, Amit was no mere beast, she was divine judgment itself. In ancient Egyptian mythology, this terrifying hybrid had the head of a crocodile, the forelegs of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus, a combination of the deadliest creatures along the Nile. Known as the devourer of the dead, her role in the afterlife was as final as it was gruesome. When a soul entered the underworld, the god Thoth would weigh their heart against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth. If the heart was light and pure, the soul was granted passage into eternal paradise. But if the scales tipped, that was where Amit came in. The heart of the wicked was cast into her gaping maw, ensuring that their soul was completely obliterated, denied reincarnation, erased from existence itself. Unlike other monsters that roamed the land, Amit did not hunt or torment. She did not need to. She simply waited, an unyielding force of divine justice, always hungry for the corrupt. She is scary. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.